My name is Leroy Blevins, and welcome to Mysteries and Histories. In this episode here, what we're going to do is we're going to analyze the Altgen image number 6 in the JFK assassination. This image has been put through a lot of all false claims that was made upon it, like Oswald being in a doorway, or Lyndon B. Johnson ducking down because he cannot be seen in the image or anything else like that. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you as we analyze this when this image was actually taken and what the image actually tells us and information wise. First, we're going to pull up the image itself. This is the black and white image of the Altgen's image number 6. Now, what I do in my research, I don't know about anybody else's, but what I do is I try to get that 3D effect to where I can look all around and see what's going on at certain times. That's why what I did was I lined up all the films, I lined up all the images exactly when it was taken. And before we bring this up, what I like to do is I want to show you this image here. Okay, this is a colorized version I've done. The reason why I've done colorized, like I said before in my other videos, is to bring up more details to separate the black and white color images and the objects and the people in the image. When Altgen took his image, it was taken by frame 254 of the Zapruder film. This is based on the way the subjects, which is JFK, Mrs. Kennedy, and Mr. Connolly, Mrs. Connolly, the driver, the passenger, the motorcycle riders, the police officers on the motorcycles, it's way they're looking, how they're positioned, and by this we can actually pinpoint exactly when this image was taken. I do this with all the images, just like this one right here. Altgen image number 6 was taken by frame 254 of this Zapruder film, and also Altgen's image number 7, which shows JFK's limo before it goes under the underpath. That was taken by frame 394 of the Zapruder film. Excuse me. But let's go back to Altgen's image, number 6. Now, in this image here, people claim Oswald's in a doorway. Lyndon B. Johnson cannot be seen. They said he ducked down as soon as he turned on Elm Street. And there's 1,000 others. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to point out some facts here. As we zoom in on the image, first we're going to look at Lyndon B. Johnson's car. We see his wife in this location here. Watch the cursor. We see his wife in this location here. We see the senator over here. And right here is where Lyndon B. Johnson is. What he's doing, he's looking around out to the side, out to the right. He's looking around like this, out to the right, behind the Secret Service agents that's in front of him. So that's what he's doing. He's actually trying to look around, but we can see the side of Lyndon B. Johnson's face, so he did not duck behind the car. Then we go over here, and we zoom in. They claim this is Oswald, standing in the doorway. When I looked at other films and matching them all up and lining them all up, I found that actually the man in the doorway is none other than Billy Lovelady. Now, I point this out and I show this because here's a film that shows Bill Lovelady in the front doorway and interest in the other films. This right here is Bill Lovelady. It's not Oswald. Now, I know this for a fact because not only did Bill Lovelady claim that he was standing in front of the doorway, but also Mr. Fretzer also said he was in the doorway as well, right behind Bill Lovelady. He gave his position, and he gave Bill Lovelady's position. And this is reported by him. That's in his testimony. And right here, people said they call this the prayer man, or a man using a camera. Actually, that is Mr. Fretzer. This is the guy that drove Oswald to work that morning. He has on overalls. Or coveralls, excuse me, coveralls. He has coveralls on. This is Mr. Fritzer. Now, to me, when I do my research, what I do is I make sure I pinpoint where everybody's at. Just like when I pull up this image here, when people talk about this, we could see in this image here, Bill Lovelady's right here. Mr. Fretzer's right here. Bill Lovelady moved over this way because all the people's coming in and out. This was after the assassination. Like I said, I colorized this to get more details, exactly see what's all going on. This is not Oswald. This is actually, I know I colored this, I colorized this in blue, but I colorized this when I first got it in 2005, when I got my copy of it. And I didn't know exactly what color people's hair were, or the clothes, or even the cars themselves. So when I colorized this one, I got another one that's in my files where I actually changed the color just to be right as you've seen in that one image before this. This is Billy Lovelady. It's not Oswald. They can say all they want. Now, another reason why I claim this is not Oswald as well is by Oswald himself. Now, Oswald did make some testimonies himself where he claimed where he was at the time of the assassination. He did not claim he was outside. First, he claimed that he was in the lunchroom eating a cheese sandwich in the corner by the Coke machine by himself. But he also said that he was eating lunch with two other gentlemen as well. This is reported, this is what Oswald said. This is in the police reports. So Oswald himself was even claiming that he was not outside. So this right here shows you that Oswald was not outside. That's just another claim. The guy looks a little bit like Oswald, but not too much. We could tell this is not Oswald, but people want to make claims, as they always do, false claims coming out. Now we're going to go over here. Now we can see the side of Lyndon B. Johnson's face right here. This is where Lyndon B. Johnson is. We can see his ear here, right side of it, left side of his face right here, because he's trying to look out. That's like having a person right here, and I'm trying to look around him, and that's what he's doing. He's looking out to the right, trying to look around and see what's going on. Now, when I was actually analyzing this this image here, and not only analyzing it, but I found some other information as well here. As we see here, there's a camera sticking out. Now, a lot of people say, oh, well, this is a gun. No, it's not a gun. It's actually a camera. This is actually Mr. Darnell getting out of the car and get ready to start filming his film. Pull this up right here. This is not exactly the camera that he used. It's something similar to this one here. But this is the camera that's actually in his hand. Something similar to what he has in his hand and what he filmed his Darnell film with. He was actually getting out of the car and started doing his filming. That's when we have the Darnell film. As I point out in my research, I like to know where everybody's at. So when I study the films and line them all up, I can get from different sides, different views. When images are taken, I like seeing when it was exactly taken, so I could pinpoint, when this person was standing here or in this location. Altgen's image, number 6, does not, in fact, show Oswald whatsoever. Oswald was not in a doorway. That's Billy Lovelady. This is verified by just not only other films, which I can pull this up, other films that shows Bill Lovelady in the doorway. This is him right here. This is Bill Lovelady. And you can see he has the same kind of jacket or shirt on. It's also backed up by, I said, Mr. Fretzer. He claimed he was in the doorway right behind Bill Lovelady, and that's him right here. And this is Bill Lovelady right here. Now, when I was analyzing films and stuff and images, I also found out, like I was talking about, I had to know where everybody's at. Just like when I go over to Zapruder film, As you see this couple that can be seen in this Pruder film right here, this is part of the frame from this Pruder film. We see them running up the hillside here. This gentleman right here, we see him in a Zapruder film. He starts to walk across in this image here. And then, as you know, we have Mary Mormon and Gene Hill. Well, Mary Mormon's here. Gene Hill's already up on the hill. So I'm letting everybody know this is how I work when I do research on films and images. I look for facts. I don't look for false claims or anything. I'm not looking for another story to sell to people like all these other researchers do, because they're mainly looking for stories to sell. I'm looking for pure facts is all I'm doing. Now, like a Willis image. When we look at the Willis image and stuff, we're not paying attention to everything in the surroundings. But then again, I am. Just like in the Willis image, you remember Miss Setzman. She was the female that was holding up Mr. Zapruder on the wall. Well, after her and Mr. Zapruder got off the wall, she actually walked in front of the Texas School Book Depository and was standing there. Because we could see her in the Willis image right here. Here's Miss Setzman right here. Now, a lot of people don't know this. Okay, they don't even bother looking and say, hey, you know, here's Miss Setzman again. But now she's in front of the Texas School Book Depository. Me, when I analyze films and images, I had to make sure where they're at during it, before it, basically during, at the time of the assassination, and right after, so I could trace their steps of where they're actually at that time and what they're doing at that time, just like Mrs. Setzman. After her and Mr. Zapruder got off the wall, Mr. Zapruder took off, and she still stayed around that area, but in front of the Texas School Book Depository. Was she there to meet Oswald? Who knows? But we'll talk about that later on down the road. But the Altgen's image number 6, okay, there was no altering done to it whatsoever, as I showed you. There was, the man in the doorway was actually, in fact, Bill Lovelady, which I showed you, which we could see him in other films in that location. We also have eyewitness accounts putting Bill Lovelady in that location. Lyndon B. Johnson can be seen in this image. It's just he's behind somebody and he's trying to look around to the right to see what's going on. This image here was taken by frame 254 of the Zapruder film, which by the time this image was taken, JFK was already shot twice and Governor Connally was already shot once. So 3 shots has already been fired at this point when this image was taken. So see, when you line up stuff like this, that's another thing I want to point out. And when you line up images and you line up films, you could pull more information from that, because we knew at this point that JFK was shot twice, once in the back and once in the back of the head. And then we know Governor Connally was already shot in the right side. So when we look at this, we know when this image was taken, we line this image up with the films and stuff, and we find out this image here was taken by frame 254 of the Zapruder film. Now we know that when this image was taken, JFK was already shot twice and Governor Connally was shot once. So see, that's the kind of information I look for when I analyze a film or image, so I know exactly what happens. Just like when I analyze Altgen's image number 7 here, I lined it up as that frame 394, and see, that's the reason why I said people talked about images being altered. Well, in Altgen image number 6, which I'm going to pull up here, excuse me, let me pull this up right here. As you see here, there is no hole or crack or anything in the windshield. None whatsoever. No hole, no crack, or nothing in the windshield. Now let's go over to image number 7, and now we see that crack in the windshield. We can see that same exact crack in the windshield. That's what I do even when I took the crack, when I got images of the windshield where it shows the bullet imprint inside the inside of the windshield. I line them up to make sure all the cracks are lined up and everything else, and it's the same size and width. So this gives me more information on that shot as well, because I now know that this image here, Altgen's image number 7, was taken by frame 394 of the Zapruder film. So I could actually put that in time frame exactly when he took this image in the assassination, same as this image here. I can place a time frame on it when this image was taken during the assassination, because I know exactly when this image was taken. I've done this to the Mormon photo too, exactly to find out when she exactly took the image of hers. Altgen, Altgen, image number 6, has not been altered in any way. It does not show Lee Harvey Oswald. Lyndon B. Johnson can be seen, and the guy in the last car that we can see in this image is Mr. Darnell, and he's getting ready to get out because he's getting ready to start filming. So see, an image does tell you a lot, because of this one image now, after doing this research, now I know what, when this image was taken, we can see Mr. Darnell getting out of the car, getting ready to start filming. We know Bill Lovelady's standing in a doorway. We know Lyndon B. Johnson's trying to look around a Secret Service agent that's in front of him. We also know that JFK was shot 2 times already, and Governor Connally was shot once by the time this image was taken. That is a lot of information that was lost because no one took the time in trying to analyze this the right and proper way of analyzing these images and films and placing them in time frames of exactly when they're been taken or when they're doing their filming. There's just a lot of information there that was lost because they're not taking the time to piece this puzzle together. So this is the Altgen's image that we just looked over, and I showed you more evidence to show you that it was Bill Lovelady in the doorway, not Oswald. There's an eyewitness account puts Bill Lovelady in that location. Lyndon B. Johnson can be seen in the image. The image the image also tells us that this is the time that when Mr. Darnell was getting out of the car and he started doing his filming. And we also know that JFK was shot twice and Governor Connally was shot once when this image was taken. And this image was taken around frame 254 of the Zapruder film. Thank you.